And welcome back. Once again, adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS Child. In the last episode, the aspiring singer Momone was looking to leave Shibuya behind, terrified by her sudden rise to fame and seeking to return to her old style of creating music on the internet and playing it publicly but not performing it live. But before she could leave the city behind her and her band in the process, Momone's attention was caught by a very conspicuous knocking sound. The very same knocking sound that spelled the unfortunate end of the poor hikikomori Yuma Utani. And shortly after Momone's answering of that knocking, a couple passing by in the street of Shibuya found her limping rather badly, and she appeared not to notice them at all. So something has happened. Something terrible is unfolding in Shibuya. But that brings us to here, because in that same episode we were also introduced to the main character, Takuru Miyashiro, who is shown himself to be rather judgmental and opinionated, though he might be correct on his sentiments regarding Schrödinger and his theory on criticizing quantum mechanics. But we're not here to talk about Schrödinger's cat, because believe it or not, Takuru is an investigator of sorts. I say of sorts because he isn't working in any official capacity. Neither is he a private detective. The reason for that is Takuru is still a high school student, working along his classmate and childhood friend Serika Onoe. Both of them appear to be part of an investigative club at their respective high school. And speaking of Serika, she was the one that brought Takuru these crime photos, which I think are the crime photos showing what happened to, or the final end of both Yuma and Momone.
結構取ったな。成果は？
Did Serika find anything pertinent or useful in those photos? I wonder.
新しい発見はなかったよ。タクは新しい共通点見つかった？
Looks like the answer to that question is no. Also, interestingly, Serika referred to Takuru as Taku. How quaint.
いや。
It seems that Takuru is not having much luck finding anything useful in the photos either. I shook my head, frustrated. Well, you probably should get some sleep and get some fresh eyes.
そっか。まあ気長に行こう。じゃあ明日部室で。
Maybe there are other people in the club who might help, because after all, it isn't really a club when you've got two people such as Takuru and Serika. I don't even think two people are allowed to form an actual school club. Just as she was about to leave, I got an idea.
あ、尾上。
I think I can see where this is going. Although Serika obviously can't. But then why would she? I needed to double check my information. You mean the information from the magazine that you spent a good chunk of your time trying to hide from Serika? And almost failing at doing so? She was in theory a girl. And it wasn't that long ago when you were actually criticizing the information in that magazine.
あのさ、例えばなんだけど。
Yeah, he's really doing this.
うん。
Suppose he wants to put that theory to the test, even though it is completely stupid.
ああ、なんていうか、お前が告白されたとしてさ。
Having a very hard time approaching the subject.
うん
いや、だから例えばこう言われたらどう？誠に勝手なのですが、好きになってもいいですかって。
Well, he managed to say it, but framing the question and the scenario actually somewhat dilutes the so-called thought experiment.
さっき言ってたやつ？
Indeed, that is exactly what Takuru was saying to himself before you hilariously interrupted him there.
それはいいから。どう？
Takuru is still intrigued to learn of Serika's response to the question. Serika thought for a second.
年下なの？その人。
That is an interesting response, one that I wasn't expecting. Also, is Takuru younger than Serika? I actually don't know. Probably not, I would say, and something is happening.
Eh?
That completely came out of the blue. We have two circles, one on the left, one on the right. This sort of bluish circle with what appeared to be the word positive here, and a red circle with the word negative on the right hand side. Interesting. And I think we can actually interact with these. Okay, that brings up this icon here. Of course, these seem like responses that we can choose in certain conversations. And you know what? I'm going to select the positive one, and we'll see what happens.
丁寧語だから。
And Serika is continuing her thought process. That's true, come to think of it. The question is framed in a rather formal manner. Why was it so polite anyway? I couldn't begin to tell you.
年下なのかな。いや、そうじゃなくて、どう？
Yeah, Takuru's never gonna let this go.
どうって、丁寧だなって思うけど。
Serika isn't quite sure how to answer all this.
告白されたことないからよくわかんない。
There's that, I suppose, as well. which kind of throws a wrench into the works.
他には何か思わないか？こう、素敵だなと思ったりしないか？
That is a very cliched response, even for you, Takuru. Especially for you, of all people.
別に相手によるんじゃない？
Serika gave a pretty straightforward answer, I think. And unfortunately, it wasn't the response that Takuru was eagerly expecting. Alas, shot down. Grr. What's going on here, cool cat? Yeah, you were a fool for buying into that junk in the first place. You only have yourself to blame, Takuru. It would depend on the person asking the question. Of course it would. Which should have been obvious right from the start. But you fell into that hook, line, and sinker. Oh well. Hey, what's up? Whoa! Okay.
でも告白してくれたのがタクだったら。
Okay, things have definitely taken a turn for the intriguing.
ちょっとだけ考えちゃうかもしれない。
So Serika is now seriously considering Takuru's question. Serika's whisper was so soft I could barely hear it.
Eh?
Much to Takuru's sudden surprise.
今、なんて言った？
I think you know well what she just said.
なんでも。
No, I didn't hear that wrong. Was Cool Cat right after all? Too soon to tell. Ellipses. No. Wait. It's Serika we're talking about here. Is that possible? Well, you probably should have thought about that before you pitched the question to her. Usually when you've known someone since you were little, you are so close that you don't realize when they're attracted to you. Now there is an iconic anime trope if ever I saw one.
お前、僕の
And I'm
こ
not
と。
even an otaku. That is to say, I've watched anime over the years, but I'm not a hardcore collector of anime.
タクはどうなの？
Throwing the question right back at Takuru.
どうって。
Way to put him on the spot, Serika.
だから例えばだけど受け止めてくれるのかって話。
Now the shoe is officially on the other foot. She was trying to hide the fact that she was blushing, but she was staring straight at me as she waited for an answer. Was she serious? She certainly seems to be. From the look of things, she was definitely serious. Really? Serika liked me? I suddenly started to see her not as a childhood friend, but as a member of the opposite sex. Turn back while you still can. Dating her might not be so bad. We both knew everything about each other. But what was I supposed to do at a time like this? You're asking that now? Was there anything to do about this in Cool Cat Press? Who came up with that? Who called it Cool Cat Press anyway? It's an absurd name. That's right. There was a hint in the January 24th, 1999 edition from a column called Everything You Wanted to Know About Seducing Your Childhood Friend But Were Afraid to Ask. I actually honestly don't know which is sadder, adventurers. The fact that somebody printed this article, or the fact that Takuru actually read and owned a copy of said article. I just don't know. It was, how would you like your childhood friend to say they loved you? Number 3, softly in a love letter, 5 people. Stated in the form of a questionnaire. 2, in an embarrassing text message, 17 people. Pray tell her what is number 1. Work up the courage and kiss me now, 128 people. Who comes up with these questionnaires? Seriously. Work up the courage and kiss me now.
Onoe. いや、セリカ。
Sounds like something Daru might say. Daru, of course, being the otaku from Steins Gate, who is a connoisseur on all things otaku. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I got close to Serika and softly put my hands on her shoulders. Our faces were right next to one another. And music playing in the background there, obviously. Serika was beet red, but she didn't look away from me.
Taku.
僕は優しい男だから大切にしてやるから。
She'll probably hold you to that.
こんな急になんてダメだよ。だって
Serika's lips were quivering.
お前の唇が欲しい。
Serika closed her eyes. Oh, Serika Onoe, my beloved. Yeah, this is really happening. This is really playing out. Why did I not notice your beauty sooner, when you were next to me all this time? I know this is extraordinarily selfish of me, but may I fall in love with you? No, I've already fallen in love with you.
Taku, キスして私の唇を奪って。
She whispered in a quavering voice, and I couldn't control myself any longer.
Serika!
500円ちょうだい。
That was completely out of left field.
Eh?
Yeah. Allow me to explain slash elaborate on what just happened there, adventurers. Some of you might have been able to figure out that what had just happened uh, wasn't real. It was all in the imagination of Takuru Miyashiro. And that brings me to a rather certain feature of Chaos Child, because it was also present in Chaos Head as well, which is the delusion trigger system. Basically, one can, through the delusion trigger system, experience one of two delusions, either a positive delusion, like the one we all witnessed, or a negative delusion, which is macabre and, well, quite the opposite of a positive delusion, and let's leave it at that. Alternatively, we could have chosen not to experience either any delusions and just experience the unfolding situation in reality, in real time. But where's the fun in that? For those of you who watch my Let's Play of Chaos Head, you should be able to understand full well how the delusion trigger system works, but the way that it unfolds in Chaos Child is quite a bit more technological than in Chaos Head. Chaos Head, the delusion trigger was represented by biorhythms, such as heart rate and so on and so forth. Whereas in Chaos Child, the delusion trigger system is represented in that weird sort of technological format that we saw just a few moments ago. But believe me when I say that the delusion trigger system, while entertaining as it is it actually does serve a bit more of a purpose than you think, especially for those of you who have experienced Chaos Head like I did. You will know this to be a fact. But yeah, so that was one of the first of many delusions that we are going to experience along with Takuru throughout this Let's Play adventure of Chaos Child. And I also got a Steam achievement, my first delusion. Although I don't think you guys could see that, because sometimes the Steam achievements don't appear in the actual video when I'm recording, but I digress. So, snapping back to reality is probably a good transition to end this episode of Let's Play Chaos Head. And when we return, adventurers, we shall see Serika's true sentiments, both towards Takuru and the question that he had put forward to her. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.